What's interesting about venture versus other asset classes is that there's an asymmetry and skew of returns, and there's a lot of return dispersion, right? And I think that makes a huge difference when it comes to fund of funds because the idea of a fund of fund is to enable selection, not just access but selection. And so if you're from a portfolio perspective and from a statistical perspective, if you're selecting from, let's say top half or top quartile funds, you're statistically speaking going to get several hits, and your performance should be. We have some blog posts and whatnot on the website, but your performance should be top quartile if you select relatively well. Not to mention if you select really well, even with the double layer of fees. So I think ventures, I just want to mention that it's a different asset class than, let's say, private equity, or we're talking about hedge funds, where I think it's more of an access play and it's not necessarily maybe as valuable. And so I think that's sort of one piece of it that's important. And I think the other kind of thing I think is important is that it's very difficult. Underwriting is a full-time job. Underwriting GPs is a full-time sport. It requires, a lot of work. You need to have, sort of a lot of networks to look at. A lot of back channeling. Is a lot of quantitative work in our case. So I don't think it's something that, historically, I think a lot of family offices and others have done it part-time and not full-time, and they're allocating to many things at once when it comes to GP selection. But I think in this particular market that we're in, it requires a full contact sport. And so if you have a systematic approach to it, I think that even enables and enhances it. So I think the decision criteria for LPs is whether they have the resources internally to dedicate to sort of investing in this part of the market, especially emerging funds, or whether it's better to outsource that to someone who does it full time, and what the performance differences will be. So anyways, that's kind of what we've learned.